This is the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mosen.
Great to be back here again, folks, and with no mistakes. I love saying that. I think a lot of my friends enjoy that as well, because today I have a very interesting person, and I'm really excited to have ChristineTumpson, Editor-in-Chief of World Magazine. How are you today?
I'm terrific. Thank you for having me here.
I'm so excited to have you. I mean, you have done so much. It is fascinating. You are very intriguing. And I want you to share a little bit about your magazine, your background, and the yoga festival that's coming up in July 26th, right?
That's right, at Point State Park, downtown Pittsburgh, surrounded by the three rivers.
Wonderful.
It's a really magical site, and it's all day long. We have classes in anything you can imagine, from the intro to Bikram to meditation to trigger point therapy, how to do something with the different vendors that we have as well. You know, we have food trucks. It's going to be great. Everything about healthy lifestyle and living.
Right. And so if people were interested in coming, because I mean, we air the show in multiple states, Florida, Massachusetts, and then we also have the usual technology stuff going on with TuneIn app and everything else. What would be the best way to contact or reach out to you and your team?
Oh, it's so easy. You just go to Whirl, WHIRL, magazine, that's spelled out, whirlmagazine.com, and all of the information. We have special hotel rates for people who are traveling from out of town, and just to let us know. But, Pittsburgh has really become a yoga city.
It has.
We have more studios per capita. I would venture to bet against most cities in the country. When we started, one of our jobs at our magazine is to really have a snapshot of the businesses here, and what the economy is doing and what the trends are. So 3 years ago, we started noticing that there were an increase in yoga studios. There were 30 3 years ago.
Wow.
This year, there are 300. There are teachers being trained. There are shalas, or studios, opening all around.
Incredible.
And they're all filled. There are these amazing teachers who all have different specialties. Like I said, you can go to all of the different disciplines. And we just want people to have an idea of what it is and try what they are, and have this life-changing, transformative experience.
It is. I think that, I started yoga about 6 months ago, so I chat about it a lot on the air, because I think that what's amazing about it is that it changes a lot of things. I think in not only it's a mind-body connection, and people often think it's slow or it's not a workout. It is a workout, trust me. I have been training for years, and I do heavy lifting, etc. So for me, when I watch someone like you putting together things that are very much, to me, important, such as health and wellness, top of the list, your faith, health and wellness, your family, these things, they all come together. Everything else, and we talk about finance daily, and I think that there's a lot of anxiety when you're dealing with numbers and finance and not being in that financial sort of position where you can't make choices. That's why I always promote health and wellness. And you and I were chatting before the show a couple of days ago. With your background, what we were talking about before you started World Magazine.
Oh, my goodness. Well, before that, I was a child custody attorney.
Right.
And my husband, Jack, was a music promoter. He started a small business here called Next Big Thing Productions. And I always tell the kids he was really cool. He hung with a lot of the big acts,
right.
And we moved to Nashville together and raised our family. And then the music industry changed. And so the big life that we had there, we didn't know what to do. So we spent a lot of time at the gym. We spent a lot of time working out. We're very much into healthy lifestyle and leading a good, straight, kind of emphasis on a clean life.
Right.
And took one step at a time, and didn't understand why Pittsburgh, where we were from, had this negative image about itself.
Right.
And so we realized that people really need some positive messages sent to them on a daily basis, and it needs to be done really well so that they believe it and understand it and start to feel better about where they are. So we came back to Pittsburgh. We started World Magazine, and it really took off with this positive message. And since then, like I said, we've really had great success.
It's a beautiful magazine, and I encourage. Really, it's beautiful. It's a work of art. That's what I say.
Thank you.
And it takes a lot of work to put together a magazine of your quality and the great people that you have, the stories, the articles. But you also have the other side of it with.
Right.
Can you share that?
Yes, we do Whirl, and then we also do Edible Allegheny Magazine, which is a food magazine. And this is really an emphasis on the locavore lifestyle, because what you eat is so important to the wellness of your body and to your whole spirit and to leading a good life. So we found out that Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, had one of the best places for local farmers markets, and there are places all throughout the country. So we're part of the edible community. There are these magazines all throughout the country, and wherever we're being heard right now has one, I guarantee you.
I'm sure it does.
The focus there is on fresh eating and eating things that are going to make you healthy, mindful of your eating, what you're going to do as far as giving back to the community. So that's all addressed in that. And then we do Whirl Wedding Guide, and we do Whirl at Home. So we do 24 publications a year.
Where do you get the time?
It's fun. You know, I have to say it's all grace given when we're in our bliss and we really feel like we're really doing what we're meant to do. Yes, it's hard work, but it's fun.
It's joyful. You have a joy in your face when you talk about it. That's so important.
Yes. And we also do radio and television, and then these special events, such as the yoga festivals. So we're very, very busy, and we have a large staff, and it's terrific to be able to be reinvesting in our community.
Right. It is. It's very important. And I think with the yoga festival, it brings people together, like-minded people who are really involved in giving back, and also being aware of health and wellness and how important it is, because we want to make sure we take care of ourselves. And you were saying last year there were about 1,500.
So here's what happened. We did this. Our first one was, this is our third annual one. And the first time that we did it, we thought, oh, okay, well, who's going, they're going to think we're a bunch of hippie yoga, barefoot, chanters and all of these different things. And yoga has some negative connotations. People think that it has religious
I know. And I'm like, yoga is a science to me. That's the way I look at it in respect to.
Right. And certainly with us, it is not contra to religion, because we're not saying, and matter of fact, we are all of faith ourselves. So that's not, and we feel that we are walking in faith. But what we find that it does, and what we found in our own personal level, was that it connects our mind, body, and faith. And we have a better understanding of how we're actually created and the importance of working our body, and the importance of these ancient postures, which I don't know why they're made like that. I don't know why our body is created with these 2 arms and 2 legs and hips, but there are reasons why when we get into these poses that we feel this inner calm and inner peace. And that translates throughout the entire day in how we lead our lives.
Right. It's so important. And I forgot to mention, if anyone is interested, you can always call us at 1-800-662-9550. We have a toll-free number, so I'd be happy to take the calls, questions, and especially get signed on for the yoga festival. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it, believe me. And the fact of the matter is, it's amazing, the growth that we have seen in the last couple of years. I never expected it to be that high, from 30 to, you said 300 studios?
Well, there are more than 300 studios. Now, I have a theory for that.
Okay.
as much as a nation, we are bombarded with this bad negative news. We are all completely almost held hostage by these several stories that keep repeating, and it's negative. Now, to the human psyche, that actually has an individual negative effect. We're taught by prayer and meditation that we can raise our spirit, and that is crucial.
It is.
It is more important than people realize. It's a message that we have to send to our children. We have to send it to our elders. we have to remind ourselves of it, that we have to choose to be positive and happy, because in reality, we're living in this world as it is created, and we have to do the best job we can. We are the stewards of everything, including our bodies and our souls and our mind.
That's very true. And I'll tell you what, I do want to make sure we have you on tomorrow, because we were also chatting about your parents. Remember about how yoga and how things have changed. And it does change your body. It does change your level of flexibility. In this week, I'm going to have Sharon Skittle on, who's doing the Trigger Point workshop with the Yoga Festival.
Oh, yes.
And with her, I've worked with her over the last 6 months, and it's incredible. I mean, she's actually quite amazed as well. I mean, we have made progress. So when we have her on the air, I want to share the importance of how it can affect not only your mind in getting that peace of mind, but here's the thing, Christine. Don't you think it's interesting with the mat in itself? I always look at numbers and finance and how it's relatable to how we are such a consumer-driven society. And I'm not saying, it's not the blame game. I did it in my 20s. I charged up all the credit cards. And when you get on that mat, you realize there's like the wants and the needs. That is all you need. You don't need everything in life. You just need the things that are basic and simple. And when you get on that mat in the yoga studio, you realize how little you actually need to be happy.
It really is. It's a beautiful thing. It's a Khalil Gibran with that. You must learn to be happy with a blade of grass.
Right.
And how can you find that simplicity in life? It's a beautiful thing. I do think it's also why our prophets and Jesus went and meditated for 40 days and 40 nights. Right. I think that's something that's very important and intuitive for people to understand, that you can learn through your body, and that there is a science to it. We all think we have all this complete control over our thoughts and how we behave, but in fact, we can change that by getting back to these basics of exercising. And yoga does give the ability to have a meditative quality whilst you're getting your physical activity. Right. And that's really great,
Very true. And listen, I'm going to have you back again tomorrow. And folks, if you have questions, you want to sign up for the Yoga Festival, I'm endorsing them hands down. I'm looking forward to it. The number 1-800-662-9550. And take care. Thanks for coming today.
Oh, thank you. It was great. Thank you.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.